One, two, a one, two, three, four. D, 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 D. Good morning, everyone. Richard Bird here on today's episode of The Dash. I wanted to talk about what limits you. I mean, a few days ago we talked about what unlimits you, or just even exploring the concept of looking at what unlimits you. But today I wanted to ask you the question. I mean, really, is there something that is limiting your success? And so this kind of comes from a story. I was in a team meeting, and we were discussing how do you dress, and so I asked this question in my team of a specific team member. I said, so if a client was going to pay you $100,000 to show up in a suit, but he would only pay you $50,000 if you showed up in flip-flops, what would you do? And so the team member just thought about it, and said, I've paid the price to be able to dress any way I want to. This is my truth. I would just accept the $50,000. And so I kept pushing back. Like, are you really telling me that you would give up $50,000, not to dress like the client wanted you? And he's like, that's it. My truth is my truth. I am who I am. All I'm going to do is do this $50,000. That's fine. I'm not going to change who I am to appease someone. And, again, I'm looking at him like, are you really trying to tell me that that $29 pair of flip-flops is worth 50K? It was boggling my mind that he would do that. And it wasn't because I was trying to get him to change who he was or to change how he did things. It was really trying to understand his concept of money, or his concept of what do I do to get the deal done. And so we're going back and forth until another team member looked at me and said, Richard, you're not asking the right question. I'm not asking the right question. I'm asking him, is he going to give this up for $50,000? I mean, is he going to give up these shoes for 50 grand? Like I'm really going through. He says, no, you're not really asking the right question. See, understand this. He's never made $50,000 in his life. And so therefore, him wearing flip-flops and getting 50 grand is a win. So the first part of this is, are you asking yourself the right question? Have you, even when thinking about what is limiting your success, have you really sat down and asked, are you really asking the pertinent question that gets to your fear, that gets to the part that's holding you back? The second part of that is the goal too low? I was talking about $100,000, and he was settling for half of that. And so what it did in my mind, it started me to think, there are limiting beliefs that keep us from dreaming big, because we're afraid of that number, but we're willing to take smaller amounts. We're willing to take small. We're willing to be mediocre. We're willing to keep the status quo because we can't even comprehend something bigger than that. And then third, I really want you to think about, do you have beliefs that are roadblocks? And so back to that story, what that told me as the CEO, as the owner of the company, is that this particular person could never walk into a room and negotiate one of my high deals. They couldn't negotiate it. They would not be comfortable with asking someone to pay them $100,000 to do a deal because that was more money than they could deal with. And so I now understood that this money attitude, this money mindset, if you would, was holding back not just him, but the company, because he could not comprehend major deals. They scared him because he had never experienced it. So I'm asking you, do you have beliefs and mindset issues that are roadblocks to your success? And so that's my dash for the day. One, are you asking yourself the right questions? Two, is your goal too low? And then three, do you have beliefs that are now roadblocks? All right, people. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, think about it. Cool beans. All right. God bless. Peace.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dig it.